It's transfer rater time. Kay Murray and Shaka Hislop here with you. We've got a real mixed bag today. We'll start with Anthony Martial to Borussia Dortmund if Erling Haaland leaves. And this would be a fee of around about 50 million euros, Shaka.
I don't see how Martial fills the void that Erling Haaland leaves. Saying that's probably unfair to Martial. I don't see how many footballers in the world today fills that void. But it's not a like for like. If Erling Haaland leaves, as we all expect, given his release clause, you're looking for an out-and-out goal scorer. I'm not sure that Martial is that. So for me, this doesn't make an awful lot of sense, if I were to be honest.
It doesn't make any sense for you. You're not having it.
No, I'm not.
I think that pretty much ends that one then, doesn't it? Listen, this next one's a bit interesting too. So it would be a Ter Stegen and Memphis Depay swap for Matthijs de Ligt. Mino Raiola has said that he expects de Ligt to leave Juve at the end of the season. It would be 150 million release clause, and Barca value both Ter Stegen and Depay at 75 million each. So,
listen, as much as Barcelona need a centre-back, you can look almost anywhere on the park and say that there's a need. The thing for me is, right now, and maybe given my goalkeeper bias, I feel Barcelona's best two players in that dressing room are Memphis Depay and Andre Ter Stegen. So why you let your two best players go to replace them with one, albeit in a position that you need? That for me doesn't make any sense. You're taking two steps back to take one forward. That's not how it works, or shouldn't be.
All right. So while we are talking about goalkeepers and Italian clubs as well, Inter have been linked with Bernd Leno, but this could be a no-starter.
Yeah, with Bernd Leno, absolutely a non-starter. The link I think is more likely to come off is Andrea Nana moving to Inter. Available on a free transfer next year, so I think that certainly ticks a lot of boxes in terms of Inter and their much reported financial issues, despite how good this transfer window was for them financially. The other thing to this is I am a huge Samir Handanovic fan and have been for quite some time, but Samir Handanovic is now 37 years old. So Father Time catches up with us all. And it's good on Inter that they're thinking, what next? Andrea Nana, I think, is one of the bright young talents at only 25 years old right now himself. It ticks a lot of boxes. The only kind of fuzzy area to this is back in February of last year, Nana came out and said that there was a Serie A club that was interested in him, but they were put off signing a black goalkeeper. How does that kind of frame this move or Andrea Nana as a prospect going to Inter? That aside, and I don't think that that's an issue. I think Andrea Nana ticks all the boxes for Inter Milan in terms of need, in terms of cost, and in terms of genuine goalkeeping talent in replacing one of the generation's better goalkeepers.
Yeah, with the word from Ajax as well, it does look as though all signs point to that. Mm-hmm. This next one shouldn't come as such a surprise, Shaka. Diario AS says Mbappe sees himself at Real Madrid, following that argument that we saw that was well documented with Neymar, where he called him a beggar for not passing to him. He wants to sign in January. I mean, I think we've heard this before, haven't we? Regardless of the argument with Neymar.
Yeah, listen, it feels as though we've seen this movie before, and the old cliche is the sequel is never as good as the original. We just endured this a couple of months ago. PSG turned down ridiculous money for Neymar, for Mbappe, knowing that he was available or he would be able to leave for free in 12 months' time. Given how good we've seen PSG, and in particular this week in that game against Manchester City, despite what we saw on the weekend, and we discuss this, that kind of thing happens more time than we'd like to admit. I don't see why we're going to relive this come January. It'll be a knockdown price from whatever it is PSG turned down in the summer. And again, given their own prospects around the Champions League, given how close they came in the last 2 seasons, a final 2 years ago, a semi-final earlier this year, why do you upset that? Whatever happens between now and the end of the group stage for PSG, why do you upset that, especially given what we saw? If you're Real Madrid, as much as you've been in just a couple of months ago, we all know everybody's still hurting financially. Why? I'm not. Let me sum it up this way. I'm not buying a ticket to go see this sequel.
Fair enough. Let's get back to some Premier League talk then. Kalvin Phillips to Manchester United after the Declan Rice pursuit has been abandoned.
This makes a lot of sense from a Manchester United perspective. Listen, Declan Rice has been the standout young English defensive midfielder for a few years. And I honestly, even as I'm looking in from the outside around West Ham and following West Ham's own fortunes, I thought that deal would have been done a long time ago. But for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And I'm not here to point fingers about that. But in the time since, and in particular during the course of the last season and this summer with the England national team, I think Kalvin Phillips has established himself as that player that we thought of Declan Rice over the last couple of seasons. So if you're Manchester United, you've been frustrated in your pursuit around Declan Rice, and you see Kalvin Phillips rise as he has over the last 6 months in particular, that's where my attentions go. Even aside from the frustrations around Declan Rice, I'm thinking Kalvin Phillips is a better option.
Okay, so we're talking about West Ham. You mentioned your West Ham. What do you make of the rumours about Weston McKennie going to West Ham?
I love them. And I think a lot of Weston McKennie. I really do. And I think Weston McKennie coming into a team like West Ham brings real value. I think he's an incredible talent and adds to it. And while I think the kind of easy link is Declan Rice moving out, so you need that type of midfielder coming in, I think the two of them work very well together. I am all for it regardless.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.